Okay. All right. Welcome back to the studio, guys. You've been in here a few times now, at least. We have Adam Mulford, certified osteopath and kinesiologist with other certifications in high performance training. We have Drew Jamieson back in, certified naturopath, certified strength and conditioning specialist with also his degree in kinesiology. Welcome back, guys.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. So obviously, I feel like there's lots to talk about in medicine these days. I'm sure you guys keep up with the latest. Obviously, probably one of the biggest one right now is peptides, creatine. Caffeine's also getting studied like crazy. NMN, I guess, is pretty big right now. Anti-aging stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So what are you guys' thoughts on peptides these days? Because I feel like the research is slowly coming out. They've been around for quite a while, but more like mice studies and such. But I know you can do pill form peptides through yourself.
And a couple injectables. Slowly, Health Canada's looking at them and releasing them.
Yeah.
But it's slow because there's, got to be 25, 30 plus that I get asked about all the time. I have access to a few, and I feel like I'm a peptide coach now. I went from being a doctor to a peptide coach in about 6 months because that's what 2026 has been.
Yeah.
Is like the year of the peptide for me so far. And so I'm coaching people on this because I know they're going to do it and grab black market, gray market for a lot of them. And I think it's just a matter of doing it properly. I think they're here to stay. I think they're wonderful if used properly. But we're seeing an issue with like sterility, quality control, and then dosing. I ask everybody because they just start talking and I'm like, how'd you do in Math 10?
Yeah.
Because they don't even know how to reconstitute properly. And then they'll say, well, I'm taking this many IUs. And I say, well, how many milligrams of the substance are you delivering to yourself? No clue.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of that. And I think of a learning curve that people have to go through with it. So I'm helping them understand that. And then we can do BPC injectable. We can do BPC oral. We can also do GHKCU bifacial serum as well as a hair foam for like hair loss or fine wrinkles and skin issues. So you can use that GHKCU just in those ways. I can't do it by injectable yet. And then what else do we have access to? All the weight loss ones except retatrutide. So we can do Ozempic, Misurno.
Why don't you have access to retatrutide?
It's in, I think, stage 3 trials right now. So according to Health Canada, it's not completed the review. But it's coming. It'll probably be soon. I would say within the next maybe 6, 12, 18 months, it should be pharmacy ready.
So that's weight loss with less muscle mass being lost that they're claiming?
Yeah, it works on 3 different pathways. I don't have them all memorized, but you got GLP-1, which is Ozempic. You got GLP-2, Misurno, kind of the newer age one that we are able to use. And they all have 3 names, by the way. So in case you've heard of the variants, like Ozempic is also known as Wegovy or semaglutide.
Okay.
It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
But according to, how the insurance companies look at it, it's all different. And then you have tirzepatide, Misurno, and Zepbound for weight loss, but they're all the same GLP-2. And then GLP-3 will be your retatrutide. So yeah, it's going to, they just get better and better, like shreds fat off the liver and the pancreas and the heart, and really good at reversing cholesterol issues, diabetes, prediabetes, weight. I've seen at least 30 to almost 40 patients come through now ranting and raving about it. And I can almost spot it in the waiting room now when I go and get them. I'm like, you've been doing something and it's probably retatrutide. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, holy shit.
It's in the face.
Yeah.
You can always tell in the face.
A little.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes from like a round to a V quite obviously in some people. And then the shoulder definition, and I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's obvious in some cases, especially when people don't have a ton to lose and they peel off like 15 pounds and lose some visceral fat. A lot of them do look great. Some people probably swing it a bit too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like anything, though.
For sure.
You just push it.
Push a little too much. And I'm like,
because that's what I've seen online, especially with like trying to figure out dosing for the Wolverine stack, was like it varied all over to every single website. Like I've asked you before, and I'm like, man, okay, this website said this website said this one. And that's where I think where the studies will hopefully come in place.
There's no consistency right now.
Yeah.
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 I mean, the good news is you can't take too much.
As far as we know, right
current
now.
Research shows.
Yeah, because they did like the LD50 test or whatever, lethal dose on mice, like at times 1,000, and it didn't do anything.
It was more than that.
Wasn't it?
It was like 10,000 or 100,000 times the recommended dose, and there was no effect.
Weird.
Yeah.
It seemed pretty safe that way.
Is that just BCP, or is that?
Yeah, I think it was, BPC 157, I think TV 500. they did the tests on. But I do know, in addition to the retatrutide, it also has like other longevity effects, and it improves skin. So I've heard that it actually helps like post-injury or post-surgical scar treatment. So it actually speeds up and reduces the amount of scarring that happens at a site. It improves hair growth. It improves gut bacteria and actually reduces inflammation and histamine response in certain people as well.
Cool.
So I think Retta is probably going to be like the ultimate one. And that's what they're saying, right? They're saying retatrutide is going to be the $1 trillion drug that's going to be patented by Lilly in the balance of probabilities pretty soon, and will become
massive,
obnoxiously expensive.
Yeah.
Like
so black market is still going to go crazy with this stuff.
For sure.
Oh yeah, once it hits the pharmacies,
yeah,
it costs way too
I
much.
thought like wasn't there a problem with like peptides being patented because it is a naturally occurring?
you can't patent it. You're not supposed to be able to patent a peptide. But I think what they're doing it as is they're patenting the product towards a specific condition, and then that pathway is being patented.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there's different pathways to get to, like that peptide.
Yeah. So you can patent, say, BPC. Let's say you patent BPC 157, right, as whatever, and then another company could find a way to attach like a copper peptide or a copper molecule to that BPC, and now it's a completely different thing, and you can no longer patent that pathway. So they're patenting a specific pathway on a specific peptide.
Mm.
So we don't know if attaching something to something else is going to affect how it reacts in the body. But for Retta itself, I mean, even black market's going to go up dramatically in cost too, because as soon as it gets patented, you're looking at probably anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 a month for any like half decent dosage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I wonder if insurance companies were going to cover this.
I have some thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Because people will say, well, my extended, will it cover it? I'm like, if you don't have a significant enough diagnosis, usually not. Because I'll get sent this paperwork for like a Majerno, and it'll be like, how's their BMI? Do they have comorbidities? Do they have metabolic syndrome? Do they have diabetes? And if you tick no to most of that, they'll be like, there's nothing to cover here, and they just reject it. So I tell people, I'm like, if you don't have diabetes or significant metabolic syndrome, you can try submitting for it, but you're probably going to get rejected. And trust me, you don't want that diagnosis. So let's just leave that alone.
Yeah.
And then they're paying $300, $600, maybe $900 a month, even right now.
Yeah.
So you're right. It's going to double or triple once this one hits the market. Probably they're going to make so much money. It was Eli Lilly or whoever you were talking about there. Yeah, it's going to be like, because they're already making bank off Ozempic and Majerno. So it's going to disrupt big pharma massively when this goes. It probably will still be cheaper black market, but I think everything's going to go up because people are already paying through the nose for it and don't care because the results are kind of ridiculous. And I'll be the first to say in 11 years of medicine, I haven't seen anything like it.
The one thing I would caution is that if you're going to get gray or black market peptides, specifically retatrutide, be very careful with how much you're paying. If someone says I can get you Retta for $50, it is beyond fake, right? The actual manufacturing cost just to be able to bottle and create the retatrutide is about $200 to $250 at a lab. So if someone's selling it for $50, is definitely not retatrutide.
Yeah, because they get roughly like a 10-week cycle for Wolverine stacks, 600.
Yeah,
something like that. But as long as it's real.
As long as it's real.
Yeah, but like I listened to that peptide podcast. I think that Huberman had, and he said every single peptide that you get, all the basic raw ingredients are from China still. There's no company in the North America that actually produces the raw ingredients for peptides.
Seems so, yeah.
But the thing is now it's like, well, who do you listen to? Because there's so many different peptides experts out there. But I don't know. It's interesting though.
Everyone seems to be now.
Yeah.
Every trainer I talk to, they're selling more of it than I am, but they're not regulated by a college or a governing body. They can just kind of do whatever they want.
Yeah.
It's wild times. Yeah.
I'd like to talk to someone who's done that CGC 1295.
Yeah,
it's
a few people have said they
hormone.
have.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what that stuff does.
With ipamorelin, you mean?
Yeah.
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 I mean, you could just ultimately go back to basic and do HGH.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what all the peptides are based off of anyways, right? They're all a derivative of human growth hormone.
Yep.
Isn't that way more money though?
Not really anymore.
That's like $1,200 a month for HGH. Or something
No,
like
not that much.
No.
No, you could probably, you're in that probably 300 to 600. If you're doing like 2 to 4 IUs, probably like 300 to 600, maybe up to 1,000 if you got high dose of like a higher quality one. But that wouldn't be outrageous compared to the peptides.
Is it more risk taking an HGH versus like a peptide, or is it pretty much just the same thing?
Well, it's straight versus the other ones are just analog, so they're just gonna like tap on your release of HGH as opposed to you shoot HGH.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why they're saying almost like peptides would be better than taking TRT.
Yeah,
because
if you look at a compare contrast of like a straight shot of GH versus one of the GH analogs, for sure.
Yeah.
I think you have less chance of overshooting anything with that.
It's like a slow drip compared to.
It'd be like taking Clomid or HCG as opposed to shooting straight testosterone. You're tapping on the testicles versus straight replace of testosterone. Yeah.
So it's kind of the future.
I think
feel
so.
like peptides.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the concept at least compared to, yeah.
Have you seen any risk?
For sure. I mean, so we're talking about GH and stuff. I mean, if you had lump bump tumor or undiagnosed growth, like that would be bad.
Like peptides can affect.
Well, if you're starting to tap on GH, which modulates growth in the body, and you got a lump bump or tumor, and it's like, no matter how small, it's like probably not something you want to fuel it with, potentially. But otherwise, no, not really. I always think, because people ask, what's the risk? And like, what do you think? And people always like, what about cancer risk? Is it going to go up? I'm like, if you don't have any active cancer, I don't know, but I don't think so. But I don't think anybody has a great answer to that.
Yeah.
And same thing with VPC and TB pushing angiogenesis and more blood flow to areas. I mean, sure, if you don't want to fuel something that you don't want growing with more blood flow, then that would make sense. So if someone's had cancer or has cancer, I'm definitely like, yeah, don't do that, because we just don't know. But yeah, those are theoretical thoughts around pushing more blood flow or growth signals to an area you don't want to.
Yeah, because that's what they said about TRT back in the day too, wasn't it?
Sure. But it's like proven to be pretty anti-cancer for a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was like from that one test, I think, back in like the 30s, where it had one guy in the test, and then the other guy dropped out, and then they based the whole thing off of him, off one guy from a study, well, that it increased cancer. It wasn't even like a 10 or 20,000 person study. It was like one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing maybe with tests is it's going to probably, enlarge your prostate a little bit if you're getting older. But then, you could just lay off for a little bit and it'll just calm back down and you just go right back on it.
Yeah.
Just monitor PSAs. That's it. Just a prostate marker.
Just simple blood tests.
Yeah, simple blood tests. That's standard for TRT stuff. Yeah, that and blood thickness, cholesterol, blood pressure, PSA. Keep an eye on those and adjust as needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because like I went to go see a doctor I haven't seen in years for go get a blood test, and I had to like ask him for the second type of testosterone test, but he said I had to pay for it. He's like, we don't usually test this, and I'm like, well, what do I need to test? Like, I'm 40 this year. He's like, well, we don't usually test for any of this stuff until like you're 50. And I was like, this is where the underlying problem is.
Straight
I was
up.
like, why am I going to wait another 10 years? What can I test now?
Yep.
Hey,
you ask for a baseline and they look at you cross-eyed and you're like, well, it's an appropriate thing to check in a 40-year-old. And they're like, no, not till 50. And you're like, okay. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that's why people come to me, because they're like, I want to do some comprehensive blood work, because I feel like they got to twist their doctor's arm sometimes.
It's just annoying when I literally don't know anything compared to him, and I have to argue with him to get a simple blood test. And it's like, come on, man. Like what, like I was asked, like, what can I test? He's like, well, usually this and this and this, but that's not for like another 10 years. And I'm like, do I want to get in an argument with him?
Trying not to, right? But it's like sometimes gets to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to remember that what you're being tested against is like national average. So if you're within a healthy range, it's a healthy range for, across Canada or across the U.S., right? You're not, those ranges are god awful. You always want to be like near the highest in that healthy range or the lowest in the healthy range. Because that's not, you want to be optimized, but optimized for you, not optimized against the average, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Population that gets a lot of blood tests is usually pretty sick. So the reference range is based off
So their baseline is really low.
For sure.
Yeah, never thought
Yeah,
of
just
that.
take all the lab data of everyone coming through and then make the reference range based on that. And that's not usually somebody that's kicking ass, at least not most of them.
Yeah.
Like they've got something going on. So
Someone who has at the high end is probably not going to their family doctor. They're probably
Totally.
going to someone like you or
yeah.
someone like you.
So those
you know?
they don't end up in the lab as often. Yeah.
So then do you know, like, based on high performance or through athletes, what the correct baseline should be based on age, or is there's no real metric to be able to
because
check it?
once you hit 18 until you die, there's one reference range for testosterone. That's it.
Right.
Yeah. As soon as you're an adult, it's like 8 to 28. And I'm just like you. I'm like, I want people at like the high end of the range. I want 26, 28. I see some guys pop off at 30, 31, 32, 34 I've had before, which is like some of the craziest highest without TRT use. And I'm like, it's all good, man. Don't worry about it. It's flagged on the high end. I'm like, you should put it on the wall and remind your wife you're a specimen because it's real good. Because I rarely see people above the range. I think they just keep skewing it down, though. I want to say the reference range used to push to 35, and now it's 28 because it has to capture 95% of the population that gets
So
through
as
the
the
lab.
population becomes
Decline.
less healthy,
The range
more
drops.
overweight, less
Yeah.
active, they're just going to move that scale down and down.
Slide it down.
That's ridiculous.
Because it has to catch 95% if you look at like the bell curve. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it might even be worth it to look at, like, if you can look backwards in time and be like, what was the healthy range for testosterone, or like what was the healthy range for cholesterol, and like all these
80s.
things, like in the 80s or in the 70s.
How about in the 50s?
Yeah,
Even? Yeah.
when
for
there
sure.
wasn't as much, like, shit in the food and everything else. And I'm sure those ranges would have been drastically.
Well, don't they say like
different.
our grandparents had like double the testosterone?
I've seen that
Gen Z
even now.
has that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one family where this guy, I got grandpa, I got his son, and then I got the grandson. Grandson's lowest.
With more advancement in nutrition and training and
Yeah. And then grandpa's was great. The dad's was nice mid-range for like a 55-year-old. And then the kids, a bit younger than me, crashed out. And they were both laughing at him. And I'm sitting here going like, this is not good, guys. Like, I understand the side joke here, but this is not good.
just ragging on the youngest one.
Totally, right? But, lifestyle, too much beer, not enough weights, and his grandpa's like got old man strength and his dad's a firefighter and trains all the time. And so it's like, does remind him that his lifestyle needs a tune up too. But there's also something else going on. I talk to the medical doctor I work with often because all he does in our office is TRT. And I'm like, what do you think, Steve? Why is everyone crashed out? And he's like, it's the plastics. Just
Micro.
the plastics. He's like, that was his only one answer for me. And even though I know there's other things at play, but he's right. That's a massive, massive part of it. I'm like, why are 24 and 28 and 30-year-olds coming in and getting TRT from you? And I guess the first question shouldn't be what dose can we give these guys, but why is it so goddamn low? And then he was just like, yeah, it's plastics. Or the herbicides or pesticides or alcohol or weed or lack of sleep or lack of training. I mean, you can list off a lot of reasons for it, right?
Well, look at the environment we've created. You got to worry about where your water comes from, what your clothes are made out of, what's in your toothpaste, what's in your shampoo, what's in the soap you use in your hands, sunscreen, like everything, food, obviously, what
toxic.
you cook in. It's like you can make a freaking 50-page list of everything. It gets insane. Like that's one of the reasons why like we got rid of our coffee machine and went back to the old kind of style where the spout in the middle and it boils out the top because it's just all metal. Cooking cast iron. You can have food grade silicone or just a wood utensil.
Yeah.
Like no plastic cups for hot water, no water bottles. Everything's it's just like
We've
it's
done
ridiculous.
the same thing, but you still can't get away from it.
No,
Your
but you
toothpaste-
can try and reduce it as much as you can.
Your toothpaste still comes in
Plastic.
plastic. Your shampoo still comes in plastic. Your sunscreen still comes in
Is that a
plastic.
problem though? I thought it was only with heat and stripping away the plastic.
Certainly makes it worse.
Yeah.
I don't think storing it in months on the shelf in plastic is still fantastic, but yeah, like what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
I actually heard that one. I was listening to one of the podcasts, and this guy was talking about sunscreen, and he was saying, he was like, your sunscreen, even if you get whatever these like supernatural sunscreens, it's still in a plastic container. But because you're on the beach and you have sunscreen, those plastics get super hot, and it will leach all the chemicals into your natural sunscreen anyways, and then you're putting it on your body.
Yeah.
He's like, and some of those chemicals that leach out of the plastic into the sunscreen that you're going to put on are the forever chemicals. You'll never get it out. So I think you can make as many changes as you want, but you're making the changes for like your kids. Like, we're fucked. Like, there's no way we're going to clean the plastics out of our body and everything else. Like, the microplastics are there. They're not going anywhere.
They found them in every organ in the body.
Yeah, and they're not going anywhere. I don't know. I haven't heard anywhere where you can actually fully, extract the microplastics out of your body.
I saw the other day, I never read into it, but it said that kimchi can remove up to like 90% of microplastics in your body. I have to read into it more, but
Be good to know.
Is there any other, would that be for any fermented?
I don't know. Like, obviously everybody
food?
knows fermented food's really good for your microbiome and everything, but it's something to do. Yeah, I have to look into it. I'll see if I can find it and send it to you, because I thought that was interesting.
That'd be huge.
Yeah. What about like mineral sunscreen? Still, obviously, the plastic in the container, as long as you don't leave it in the sun. But I think mineral sunscreen, they say, is probably better than most sunscreens.
And really, if you just microdose sun for a little bit, you'll build up the tolerance to it anyways, and you won't even have to use sunscreen.
Yeah, I didn't put any on into Soyuz. Like, I was like 10 minutes on my back, 10 minutes on my stomach, and then I'd move into the shade, read, and then kind of go back and forth.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, the kids are like that too. We don't really put any on the kids. Even if we're in Palm Springs, like, we just keep track of them by the pool. Okay, go sit in the shade for a bit. Okay, you're in the water. Okay, get out, go back in the shade, and they never get burnt.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's just way more effort.
Or you can just
for a
also
parent.
take some Milano tan if you really want.
Yeah, get the ultra tan.
I had one patient and buddy do it, and I was like, "You look half African now, man. I think you maybe want to pull that dose back a little bit." And he was like, "You think?" And I'm like, "Yeah, look at you in this picture."
That's crazy.
He said he was. I think he was taking it however you're supposed to dose that one, and then he's like, "I was doing one tanning session a week," and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Because he looked so dark. Just have one tanning session a week. Crazy. But further to you guys' point, yeah, if you just get sensible sun exposure, build up a base tan.
Yeah.
The problem is Canadians don't get no sun, and then they go scorch in Mexico once or twice a year, and it's like, well, no wonder. You obliterated yourself for a week. You had no base tan, terrible for your skin, and never build a base tan. So it's like you're just going in circles. And their vitamin D is trash for 8 or 9 months out of the year as a result, which is another massive thing I like to optimize in practice.
Yeah.
Because everybody's low. 4 to 5 anyway are low.
Yeah, because you're like 8 to 10,000 IU a day?
Yeah, I mean, if you're low, I would definitely prescribe that and then get some chest and back exposure 20 minutes. Try and get that level again on the top end of the range, because the range they just lowered, speaking of reference ranges, it used to go 75 to 175, and now it's 50 to 125, so they've lowered it again. And so now people are coming back at 55. Used to be flagged, now it's not. Now it says it's sufficient, but that just happened like overnight by Life Labs. And I was like, interesting. And for all my studies, I'm like, you want to be on the top end of the range of this new one, even like the previous one, like pushing to 150 or 175 for heart, brain, bone, immune system.
Wow.
Super, super.
What should you stack D with? I thought it was K3.
I just posted that today, yeah. K2.
Or K2.
D3, K2, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, again, people don't get it, right? It's like high amounts and fermented stuff like soy, and then goose liver. High amount of K2.
I don't know anyone that eats goose liver.
And people don't eat organ meats, and then there's a few cheeses that have it. The Japanese study this at length all the time because they get lots of it, and great for bones and making sure calcium doesn't end up in your tendons and your heart vessels and stuff. So, yeah, K2 for D3 balancing, super important, it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about like you take calcium with it?
I mean, that should be part of the diet anyway.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get really excited about calcium for bones, and then they're just like missing everything else.
Yeah.
So I tell people, I'm like, calcium's one part of it, and then D3, K2, collagen, protein, magnesium, phosphorus. I mean, there's a shitload of stuff that goes into bone, right?
Yeah.
And then load it with some weights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's dive into creatine, because I feel like I think it's the most studied supplement now on the planet, they said. Peptides might be crossing that line probably pretty quick, but I feel like creatine is definitely up there.
I think creatine's probably been the most intensely studied for a very long
It's
amount
over
of
30
time.
plus years, I think they said.
There are hundreds of thousands, if not more, of like peer-reviewed studies that have gone through RTCs and everything else.
Why was it hated on? Because like I took it in the early 2000s, and my mom was shocked that I was taking creatine. She printed an article saying a glass of creatine was a case of beer to your liver. I was like, what are you talking about? And like, I knew nothing back then of supplements, but I always heard creatine's great, put on mass. I was like, okay, let's take it. But I don't know why it was demonized. But I don't know.
I think maybe because it was used a lot by gym rats and bodybuilders, and people associated creatine with like a steroid, right? And so because it does, at that time, any supplement, like a natural occurring supplement, is probably one of the very few that is known to increase strength, hypertrophy. It's an ultimate athletic supplement that's NCAA certified, and you don't test positive for anything through like Olympic and professional sport. So everyone takes it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think just because, it's not advertised through athletics that they take creatine, but any bodybuilder will tell you it's like a foundational building block of your weight training protocol. They just associate it with a steroid.
Yeah, because I know the dosages have to keep going up and up and up. They're saying like baseline's always 5. I've heard the loading phase is kind of unnecessary now with all this new research, but like 5 grams a day is like for the brain only. It's not really so much for the muscles. And then 10, 15, 20, 25, even up to 30, especially if you're sleep deprived, if you're traveling a lot, they say take a higher dose of the creatine. It almost removes most of like that cognitive reaction from sleep deprived from flying, which I think is pretty interesting.
Very cool.
Yeah. Someone like yourself that travels a lot.
Totally. And it was 5 grams a day forever. Now all of a sudden 10, bad night of sleep, do 20. Yeah, change time zones.
That's a
use
lot
a bit more.
to down.
It is a bunch of scoops.
20 grams is a lot to take in a drink.
Yeah.
You have to be careful with it too, because it can mess your gut up. Like you'd be stuck in the bathroom if you're not used to like taking that much. Like if you're someone that takes 5, if you've never taken it before, and then you read
start with 20.
Well, because like elderly, right now they have all the research that says Alzheimer's and dementia patients, they did all the testing based on 20 grams, 20 grams and up were giving positive results for cognitive function, and like if not even like reversing some of the symptoms of dementia, Alzheimer's. So a lot of people that started taking, I'm going to start taking 20 grams. It's like, your gut you're going to be stuck in the bathroom for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's why they suggest a loading phase to check your tolerance, possibly still. But like, I'd say 5 to 10 grams. And then if you want cognitive function, I'd say 15 to 20.
I'm like between 10 and 15 because I'll do a scoop and then a second scoop that's kind of overflowing and then just mix that in with electrolytes. But
I've just been doing 5 to 10 most. I actually haven't tried a full 20 in one shot.
I don't think I have either.
I mean, I guess I'll just get the wet wipes and the Depends ready and we'll just see what happens, right?
Just be driving.
Just on a long haul flight, just ready to explode.
Yeah, because I see there's a lot of good companies out there. Like I think I have PBL for creatine.
Yeah.
I have like 1,000-gram tub from Nature's Fair that Alexa brings home, and it's like
inexpensive,
$40.
Totally good.
It lasts like a couple months. It's cheap.
That's what I tell people. I'm like, dollar for dollar. It's very good bang for your buck to be on that supplement. Yeah, and just every company, every brand makes one essentially.
And you can test for your creatinine levels. Is that?
That's a good question, actually. Of all the tests I have, micronutrient tests, Life Labs, advanced testing, there's no lab that just checks like, do you have enough creatine on board? I don't really have a great answer to that. Yeah. Yeah. Makes you wonder, though.
Yeah.
But I think based on the literature and the research, like there's enough data around the dosing there where it's like, do you need to test it? I just tell most people to take it. And
yeah, because people thought you get like
improve.
so puffy too on creatine, but I'm like, not really though. Like I've never felt
a couple
puffy.
pounds of water shift into the muscle, which is kind of where you want the hydration to go. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
The benefits are crazy.
Do you find different benefits if you take it like morning versus afternoon or night or anything? Or is it all kind of
just be on it?
Just be on it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, because I just drink it through the day.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of do.
Shoot it at once. You want to spread it out. You want to do a 5 and 5. Like, I don't think any of that really matters here.
Yeah.
Just be on it. Yeah.
Do you know much about NMN?
A precursor to NAD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you subscribe that to people?
It's a very expensive supplement.
Is it?
And back to what we were just talking about, how affordable creatine is. And now you get to something like NMN where it's like $70, $80 a bottle for a good quality one. 300 milligrams a day is a NAD precursor. I think it's debatable. I'll give it to some of my patients, but if I already got them on like 3, 4, 5 supplements, like I'm not going to bombard them with another one at $75 per bottle that I'm not sure if it's hitting a home run the way some of these other ones are.
Yeah.
Because you can get NAD powders, you can do NAD shots. I mean, every peptide website's selling an NAD bottle that you could just, microdose yourself a few times a week of the real deal. There may be some other benefits to NMN that I'm missing discussing, but I use it with some people, but I don't push it a ton.
Yeah, because you can do intravenously, can't you?
I can do intravenous NAD with patients. I can do intramuscular. There's lozenges my pharmacist will make. They're sublingual, so they dissolve through like the tongue and cheek. And so a lot of other ways to pump people's NAD as opposed to getting them to buy NMN. But there may be some other pathways that NMN pushes before it boosts NAD.
Yeah, because I know like David Sinclair is really pushing this longevity, anti-aging, and that's one of the key factors
that he just loves.
Yeah, he just loves NMN.
Yeah. Well, what else does he talk about it for? Because I'm not really sure. That was kind of what I learned from the company I use, Vita Aid, and he's like, 300 milligrams a day to just do a boost to their NAD levels. And so, yeah, because it seems like a massive, like it's all about biohacking now. That's it.
And live forever and everything.
Got your Brian Johnsons, your Dave Aspreys, and whoever
didn't he
else,
just get
right?
diagnosed with some crazy autoimmune disease?
Yeah, I got disease.
Yeah.
It's his second one too. He has, I think, autoimmune thyroid or something back when he was in his 20s, and now gastritis has popped
Did
up.
he take 100 pills a day? Like, did you watch that documentary on him?
Have not, but now it's all coming to light, and people are highlighting some of the issues. Yeah,
it's insane what he does. He does that like vampire blood kind of needling on his face,
like a micro needling.
Yeah, like almost every other day. He spends $2 million a year doing this like biohack, and he doesn't go into the actual sun. He stands in front of this one thing in the morning to get whatever he gets from that. Like, can you get vitamin D from artificial sunlight? Like, I don't know.
Questionable.
Yeah, and then interfusing his blood with his son and then to his dad. And
what?
Oh, weird transfusions.
Weird transfusions.
Yeah.
You should watch it.
Salmon sperm IVs and it's fucking weird.
Yeah,
it's weird.
He took
but it's interesting because I watched that documentary, and he was at taking 60 pills a day, which means he's upped it almost doubled it since that documentary came out.
Truly
right?
amazing.
Like how and he eats like 2 pounds of vegetables twice a day or whatever it is, and that's it. And you're like, dude, like you're missing some pretty serious. Like he probably created his that gut issue himself by not eating a balanced diet.
Well, taking that many pills a day has got to be super hard.
Organs got to filter it all, man. Still all bombards the liver. I mean, come on.
Like, I feel like if I take Tonka Ali on an empty stomach, it messes me up. Yeah. Like, I feel ill for like 20 minutes where I'll be sitting there and go, why do I feel so shit? I go, oh, yeah, I didn't fucking have enough food in my stomach.
I tell most people to take stuff with food. There's a few that you have to take away from food, but generally with some food. That's craziness, though. I used to be like, 10 to 15 remedies, just bombard everyone. I've pulled back to like 4 to 6 key things that they need based on their, clinical signs, symptoms, tests.
You get carried away quickly. It's just like
it can be really intense.
And then you're $200-$400 a month in supplements. You're like, I feel the same.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why there's very few that people can discern like a specific change from taking. Yeah, because it's slow and subtle, right?
I feel like magnesium makes a big difference with sleep and muscle recovery. Yeah, and then obviously creatine.
Pretty obvious for people.
Yeah.
You want to take some niacin and get a niacin flush? Yeah, you can feel that one.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are just very stealth and subtle.
Yeah, that's what I've always said about like taking like a multivitamin. I feel like it affects you on like the cellular level, but you're really not gonna feel. No, that's what I've heard. Like, people on podcasts talk about vitamins. Oh man, the energy I had from these vitamins. I'm like, shut up. You do not. That's not how vitamins work. No.
Maybe if you have like a blinding B12 deficiency, and then you start taking an injection or take a B vitamin, like you probably notice some mood, energy, and focus change with that.
What about greens, powders?
I prefer them over multi.
Yeah,
like you were just saying, multis are kind of crap, and I tend to agree.
I like greens.
I like greens.
Yeah, like I feel I'll start with it first thing in the morning, and it feels like this is exactly
Get
what
a little
my body
lift from
needs.
that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a little bit.
And food based, maybe a little less synthetic.
Yeah,
Get some vegetables and fruit as a dose through it.
yeah. Because I saw Rhonda Patrick kind of break down AG1, and it wasn't the best info commercial for them.
Not surprised.
Yeah, it's
Especially
the most,
at that price point. I'm like, damn,
it's
you better
so
pack a punch
expensive.
at like 100 or 120 US a month. Like
Yeah.
it better raise the dead or something.
Yeah,
But it doesn't.
because
Yeah.
it has like a pride. What is it? What's the word?
Proprietary.
Yeah, blend or whatever. So you don't know exactly of what you're getting.
Yeah.
And she kind of like toured a new one, and I was like, oh,
Good. I think they
for
needed
you.
it.
Yeah.
I was sick of answering questions about that from patients where everyone's on AG1 and now they're on the Beckham IM8. And I'm like, get out of here. I'm like, Beckham's a good footy, but I don't know about this product. Like, I like the BioEdge one. They're a good Canadian company. I know Rodney really well, one of the head guys there. And BioEdge has some good stuff. They got a good Tonkat LE for testosterone. They got an awesome greens powder. Fair price point. They're half of these big dogs. And same thing, you're getting 5 doses of fruit and veg. You're getting all the micro stuff. He's got some probiotic and enzyme in there, so it's got some gut health support. And it tastes good. That's the big thing with greens is a lot of people hate the flavor.
See, AG1 tasted, I thought, really good.
Yeah, they've
'Cause
gotten good at
bought into
flavoring
it,
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this is getting crazy. Like every other month, I could see my Visa card statement. Like, you went up like $3.
Yeah.
Like, why do you keep increasing the price? Because they have a crazy presentation. You get this metal container and this big green metal spoon, and you get a lifetime supply of or a 1-year supply of vitamin D
With it,
K2, but it's based off 1,000 IU a day. And you're like,
so
that's
well.
not even enough. Like,
So it's
I
a
don't know.
tenth the dose in some
It's just
cases. Yeah.
some of the biggest podcasts in the world are, sponsored by AG1.
Yeah, and
that's
some
why
big
it blew
social
up.
media accounts pump
Yeah.
them, and so they definitely got the marketing down pat. But it's all smoke and mirrors when you peel back the curtain, I guess, right?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
fallen into that trap, I think, with hydrogen water a little bit.
Yeah.
I bought those things. I was like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to feel the difference. No, it's like, you don't feel anything. But,
Yeah, those are wild.
yeah. What else do we got here? Talked about the longevity stuff. Oh, yeah. Like, I wanted to try something with you guys. I wanted for you guys to rate these from 1 to 10. So, like, say biohacking people can do at home.
Okay.
Sauna.
If you have it.
Yeah.
It's 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, 10
I think
Yeah.
it's
for sure.
Red light.
7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably say 6 or 7, but it depends on the quality of the red light panel that you're using.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? If you're using like an Amazon Temu panel, like those small little handheld ones. If you want a good one, like one that's going to work, I don't know, anywhere from like $1,000 to $2,000 for a proper,
I have
like
a
a
handheld and it was
serious proper one.
800.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You get the ones that it's like, oh, I got a red light. I sat in front of this panel. It cost me $400. I'm like, you're probably just going to burn yourself from something weird. Yeah.
Clinical red light devices can be tens of thousands.
Yeah. Like they have the red light therapy beds that are like 120,000
Yeah, man,
US.
they can get insane. So you're right. If you get something off Amazon for $100,
This is
couple
not-
$100,
It's a
that-
light right led.
it's a red
LED
light,
bulb.
but I don't know if that's the healing frequency that you need.
Because it's not so much the red light, isn't it? The near infra.
It's the
Red.
nanometers, right? It's
Yeah.
like 870 up to 1100 nanometers infrared and far infrared. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've used mine quite a bit, like on the bottoms of my feet and the right side of my ankle, and I do feel the difference. But I always wonder how much, like mentally is poured into that too. Where it'd be like, oh, I'm doing something. This is gonna work. And
Could
then,
be 50%.
Hey, man, it all adds
so
up.
as long as it works, right? But then
Yeah.
you're spending,
You're spending big, yeah.
$800 on something.
I would say for the average person, red light therapy, like value and what you get out of it is probably like a 1 or a 2, right? If you do it properly, I'd say more like a 6, 7, but that's good quality panel every single day, 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
You're like strict on your protocol. If you're like someone comes in, I bought myself a punch pass for a red light therapy pod. I'm going to go 2 days a week, waste your fucking money. Absolutely no point in doing it. So
What about cold plunge? Because I feel like there's a lot of heat coming out about cold plunge these days.
okay, if you have a neurologic condition, it's the pits. I would not agree with it at all. Someone who has like Raynaud's, any vascular issues, I wouldn't say very good. And the research is coming out that it's not that good for women either, under certain circumstances. I give like a 5.
I was gonna say 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, because like even when it comes to muscle growth, I guess you're saying you can reduce muscle growth by like 60%.
If you do it at the wrong time, it'll stunt the effects of exercise and inflammation that you need to trigger like growth and strength recovery.
I guess if you're a big time runner though, you're not really adding weight. It'd probably be good for inflammation.
Yeah, that's why it's not a 1 or 2 for me. Like 6, I think there's some utility for some people. I got a business coach that trashes it all the time. He's like, a lot of people have been super successful and super healthy, and they've never taken a cold plunge in their life. He's like, let's not make it the total holy grail here, right? Like you can still be amazing at a lot of things and not be cold plunging all the time. So
sleep's a big one I found for cold plunge.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the realm of athletics, I'd rate it way higher for recovery, like post game recovery.
Basketball, football.
We used them at two-a-days at SFU. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It gave you your legs back between practices because you had to do one in the morning and one in the afternoon, and days like this where it was hot and friggin' amazing the first time I ever did that, and back and forth with the hot tub in the cold, and I was like, holy shit, I can go again.
Yeah, really good.
And so I liked it for that for sure.
Yeah,
but
general public, it's a bit more difficult.
Yeah, and there's pressure on people to do it almost.
Yeah,
you know, with the reels, and it gets thrown in your face, and everybody's doing it. So I would probably say to people, don't fret about that. Don't think, oh my God, I have to be doing this.
Yeah.
Because
it's pretty rough. It's rough.
I mean, it's 3 minutes in hell for a lot of people, right? Yeah.
I know people ask me all the time, it must get easier. You're like, no,
man.
It's one of those things you never get used to. You become better at it. You know what you're expecting. Yeah. But it fucking sucks.
It totally does. There's some benefit from like depression too.
Yeah.
Boosts a shot of norepinephrine in the brain or something like that. I was reading a while ago.
Yeah, that's like whose book is that? What's her name again? I have her book, but she's the one that did all the studies on cold plunge and like depression and anxiety and everything like that. And it was quite a big difference. Because your brain can't think about anything else, so it's like a quick minute break. You're like,
So just do a 1 minute cold shower at the end of your shower or something. Like that's an easy way to dose it at home if you don't want to go all in on a tub.
Yeah, because like you're gonna spend decent money if you want like a full filtration system and everything, or you're gonna get a blow up one that probably won't last.
Yeah.
But what about mouth taping?
Yeah, maybe 7-ish.
Yeah.
8-ish. Yeah.
For sure.
I found a new company.
If you're a mouth breather.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I mean, sleep apnea disorder breathing, mouth breathing, a lot of ill health from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was saying like you're way less dehydrated when you wake up, better oral health, better for your immune system.
Lower blood pressure.
Yeah.
Yep. Sounder sleep, more nitrous oxide release, breathing through your nose.
Yeah. They say it's one of the biggest biohacks right now is mouth taping.
Yeah. There's a thing you can get called hostage tape.
Yeah.
Which is specifically for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I have this Respire tape. It kind of blew up on my Instagram and they got me. But it was a good price, and the tape actually works really well. Plus, they'll do nasal strips.
Open up the schnoz a bit.
Open up the nose and then do the tape. The tape actually comes off pretty good in the morning, but my nasal ones, man, it feels like it rips my fucking skin off my nose, but it's all right.
Have you tried that? It's almost like it's a non-adhesive one.
Yeah, it's like the magnets.
Yeah, the magnet one.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I've seen a bunch of them, but I haven't done any of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a little square tape with a tiny little magnet in it, and you stick them on, and then you have this flexible rubber thing, and it's like you have different levels to different size magnets, and it's like just grabs your nose and instantly opens up.
Yeah.
But I'd rather just throw more stuff in the garbage. Joking. What about fasting?
Yes. I would put that right around an 8 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suggest it often to people if, metabolically they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Just to reduce calories, time restricted feeding, give the digestive machinery a break, cellular cleaning.
Like 14, 16 an hour.
Yeah, the 15-hour mark, that stuff starts to really kick up. Yeah. And then patient told me about this 4-3-2-1, was it the other day? Where it was like 4 days a week, or 4-2-1 maybe it was. Whatever adds up to 7. Might have been a 4, a 2, and a 1. Yeah, so I think it was 4 days of intermittent fasting, 2 days of regular eating, and then 1 day of a fast.
Like a 24-hour fast.
Yeah. So it seemed like kind of a good rotation. I don't know if you need to do a 24-hour fast every week, but Jason Fung, he's a diabetes and kidney specialist, and he's a big fan of like to reset the system. Like you got to pick at least 1 or 2 days a month. You do a 24-hour fast, get the intermittent fasting going. Yeah, so the 4-2-1 was kind of a cool concept I was reading about yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, 24-hour fast ain't that hard to do. Not
Dinner
too
to
bad.
dinner.
Yeah.
That's it. So
Yeah.
you can straddle the day and eat on both days, but just do dinner to dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The longest I ever did was 80. That was pretty rough.
Damn.
Going
Yeah.
in the cold plunge was weird. My whole stomach like collapsed. Because I think I told you about it. You're like, yeah, you have no blood in your stomach. Everything just kind of fucking deflates. And I'm
No
like,
doubt.
oh my God. It was interesting. Katie did like 5 days.
Wow.
I'm like, you're a beast. I don't think I can do 5 days.
Yeah, you guys got me there. I've done like 2 or 3 max. Like that's crazy.
I have one patient who did 28 days.
Just water and supplements?
Just water. Yeah. And she said the only reason why that she started eating because she missed the act of eating. Apparently, like the hump is day 2. Once you get to day 3, it starts to ease off, and then by day 5, it's pretty like you don't feel hungry at all.
Weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you're diligent with it, right? But
28 days?
28 days. Yeah.
Not eating.
I don't know how that ties into like sport performance and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
like
if
was
you
she working out much?
Yeah, like
Like, what,
that's-
Are
And
you
what are
just-
you doing in those 28 days?
Yeah.
Like just
Like,
walking and working and that's
yeah.
it? That's all you can
I mean,
do?
I wouldn't be able to work personally. My job's too physical. I'd probably collapse.
Even when I did keto or even carnivore, I could still feel my energy levels in the gym be a little different.
Yeah.
They weren't the same. But I know there's a lot of studies now on the ketosis diet or keto diet that with cancer too. You're able to like starve out cancer cells because I think they run off sugar.
Yeah, but I
So-
mean, you could technically, just don't just don't fast and just cut out all sugar. You get the pretty similar effect, but it's very hard to cut out
Yeah, you're not eating
all
any
forms
fruit.
of sugar.
Yeah, all forms of sugar would be decently hard to do, I think.
Yeah.
for
But
the
yes, for
average
certain
person.
cancers, it's
Yeah.
probably an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I even saw like bee pollen for breast cancer is killing 90% of the cancer cells just from bee pollen.
Cool.
Well, I think I was telling you about the ultrasound. I was telling you about the ultrasound?
I don't
No.
know.
So there's a new, in the States, they have, there's a new ultrasound device that's a really, really high frequency, super powerful ultrasound where they can do targeted ultrasound on cancer cells and effectively obliterate them. Like they just fully disappear. And they have FDA approval as an effective cancer treatment on one organ, which is the pancreas, because they could only test it on stage 4 pancreatic cancer patients because they were toast anyways. So they were able to get the approvals to do the human trials for it, and they found that it was basically 100% effective at fully removing the cancer cells after like 3 days
So it destroys them with sound waves?
with ultrasound.
Ultrasound.
Yeah, and it's highly targeted. So they said that it's because the science is there, they can do it anywhere. And they said even if the cancer spreads or moves somewhere else, they can just go in and find the cancer and get rid of it there.
Wow.
Yeah, the only one that they're skeptical of testing is the brain.
I was going to say, how do you do that in the brain?
Yeah, the
Without destroying.
brain might be a bit of like a no fly zone in terms of how you're going to get the ethics approvals to kind of cross that boundary. But for every other cancer, they're saying that this type of treatment will eradicate the cancer cells.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Man, you got like, how big are cancer cells?
Yeah, they can
think
be. I mean, you can
Well,
get
tumors,
You
yeah.
can get them like massive tumors, right?
You just blow them apart and then pretty much your body just
They just
distributes
shrink.
them as
They just like
waste.
shrink and shrivel, and then just like
become
cease
dead
to
cells
exist.
and
Yeah,
then you get rid of them.
cease to exist.
Crazy.
So you can actually go to the States and go to certain labs that offer it for like, quote, under insurance purposes for pancreatic cancer. But you can actually go there and you can pay privately and they'll do it anywhere. Yeah.
Cool.
Weird.
Yeah. Really interesting.
Yeah, it seems like the whole cancer thing, like how much money has been donated to cancer for how many years? And you're like,
Probably in the trillions.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's like, if you haven't solved this, like one of the biggest.
Oh, they have. I'm sure they have.
People have, and then they die,
Yeah.
right? Like, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
So that's what you're dealing with,
There's
right?
more money in
Dealing with
treatment.
a huge medication industry around it. So yeah,
Yeah.
be careful
I wouldn't be surprised.
how loud you get when you think you're onto something with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's all, that's the conspiracy that makes most sense here.
What did I hear the other day? Conspiracies are just, what are they? The conspiracies are just when there's not enough truth in the evidence.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And I was like, yeah, that's why
Truth that just
conspiracies are so
hasn't
big.
come to the forefront yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, look at what happened to COVID. Now, everything that people were saying on podcasts that you were a kook, now it's like, oh, that was true. That was true. That was true. That was true.
Well, and anyone that didn't get the shot had the last laugh, clearly.
Yeah.
Right? It's like blatantly obvious now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So.
What a weird time.
Yeah.
Weird time. How do you prioritize sleep in your practice?
High.
High.
Very high.
But it's like, that's what I keep, like, I've talked to so many people about sleep, and they're like, yeah, I have trouble sleeping. I'm like, well, what time do you get up?
And what are you
get
doing
morning
about it?
sunlight? What kind of, do you exercise? Do you take supplements? Do you sauna? Do you?
People make a
everything?
lot of mistakes around this, and it's such a pillar of health. There's nothing sexy about it, though, so that's why like most people don't get into it.
Yeah.
But I ask every patient about it. I'm like, what time you go to bed? What time you wake up? Do you fall asleep and stay asleep okay? What are you taking to support that? Yeah, are you tuckering yourself out each day with exercise sufficiently so your nervous system can wind down? Screen time and blue light at bed. How much caffeine do you have after noon? How much alcohol are you drinking? Because there's so many ways to shoot yourself in the foot with sleep. And it's like, people do it, right? Till different times. I'm like, you got to go to bed, wake up roughly at the same time. A lot of people over caffeinate and over alcohol. And even just a drink or so with dinner can demolish deep sleep. Even if you fall asleep easy, you'll wake up easy. So I'm constantly going through this with people.
It's got to be one of the biggest
things
for you,
man.
yeah.
Oh, so important. So I'm like, yeah, you'll be shooting for at least 7-8 hours each night if you can. All right, I understand life happens, and they're like, well, I do shift work and kids need me in the night. I'm like, yeah, that's all true. You still got to prioritize it. Like you said, it's got to be high on the list of something you give a shit about. Otherwise, it'll steal many years and tons of life from you.
Yeah, because I was talking to my sister and mother-in-law about it yesterday, actually, on the beach in a Soyuz. And I was like, yeah, just make sure I'm fully wiped by the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a great way to sleep. They're like, oh, I just can't turn my brain off. I'm like, yeah, it's probably because you're not fully drained by the end of the day.
Mental and physical exertion has to happen. Yeah. So you have to, be, working on your craft, helping people, working like actual output.
Are there certain supplements you can, well, besides the obvious of melatonin stuff, is there other kind of all natural supplements that help us sleep?
This magnesium glycinate from Cytomatrix, Canadian company, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I know I'm just talking about magnesium here, nothing fancy, but that one seems to really fly off the shelf and help you. I give that to people for whatever, anxiety, sleep, constipation, just help wind them down, muscle stuff. And they're like, that puts me down and keeps me down. So if you get the right dose of magnesium glycinate at bedtime, that's a safe, easy start. Yeah. And sometimes it's more than you think, not just 200, but 400, 600 milligrams. Pump that up. Melatonin's fine at a low dose and perhaps not all the time. I like GABA and L-theanine as well if they have the racing mind and can't calm their nervous system down. Those are kind of my go-tos there. I mean, ashwagandha, some people like it, some people don't. That's another one to consider for regulating cortisol at bed. I'll test cortisol to see if it's too high, that racing mind, waking up too early, not getting back to bed. Maybe they have a cortisol dysregulation. So I talk to people about all that. Can't eat heavy meals before bed.
2-3 hours before you go to bed.
One of the best ways to wreck sleep is too much before bed. So a lot of hygiene things around bed too. Cold, dark, quiet room. Yeah, and go through all that with people.
Yeah. If the kids are up in their room reading at night, I'll put them little blue blocking glasses on.
Good.
Just a little bit. Here you go. Help us sleep. Even though kids, I don't really have trouble sleeping.
Kids not usually.
They're out.
I don't find until people get to 25, 30 and life really starts coming at them, do they have sleep issues?
I think a lot of it
people
is
are okay
mentally too. You kind of psych yourself out. You're like, well, last night I had a bad sleep. Hopefully I have a good sleep tonight. And then you kind of psychologically screw yourself over. Because I've actually fallen into that before where it's one night couldn't turn the brain off, the next night I'm so tired, but hopefully it doesn't happen again. And then you get stuck in your head and you're like, shit, it's going to happen again. Can you do anything when it comes to sleep for adjustments and stuff?
I do tons of stuff for sleep.
Yeah.
Tons more. And but it's all kind of similar to the supplemental side, but it's in the manual therapy side, and it's working with vagus nerve and the autonomic nervous system regulation and decreasing pressure in the brain and opening up blood flow and patterns. And yeah, I mean, you can get people who take, I like in my studies with ADHD, you can get kids that take 3 hours to go to sleep. You can wind them down to 15 minutes, half an hour. Adults, you can get them, you know, they have the best sleep of their life. I've had some people dream for the first time in like 10 years because they can finally hit that proper light REM and deep sleep cycles. So yeah, a lot of nervous system restructuring stuff.
Just with simple blood flow, just sleep better.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because everyone's so wound up these days, I imagine too.
Mm-hmm.
Just everyone's just constant tension all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's evident. People just leave the city and they're like, I was out of the city, I slept better.
yeah,
I'm like, well, yeah.
yeah.
Like the frequency here is, and then they get out in the countryside or the lake house or on vacation and fine.
Some people just adapt better too. I
Mhm.
feel like.
Some people are copers and some people are not. You can
Yeah.
say that with a lot of health stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I could care less for city life. I'm
Yeah.
like, I need green and
Yeah.
trees and
Hey, you got it good here.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
you got it
spoiled
really good here. Yeah.
Yeah,
I miss this, man. When I leave the city and come here and see you, I'm like, Christ, Brookswood's good. Still
Yeah,
good.
It's still good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Certain parts of it are getting a little crazy. Like City of Langley is going to get pretty nuts here with the
Going
SkyTrain
vertical
soon.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely changing.
but you just got to go further east or
Yeah.
go to Italy or
Exactly.
Japan.
Japan.
Yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about was the ADHD connection with ultra processed food and screens and exercise. Because I listen to a few people that look at ADHD as like, well, you just can't find anything that you're interested in. But so you can't focus because what you're learning about, you don't care about. It's like we talked about high school before. It's like, yeah, I didn't care about any of this stuff. But if I cared about it, you're able to focus. But I feel like, even talking to the kids about like, certain friends and stuff like that are in elementary already on ADHD medication. And I'm always like, are you on that because your parents don't want to deal with the energy that you have of not being focused on what they're showing in front of you, being like, you need to learn this. You'd be like, yeah, but I don't care about this, but I really like this. And I can 100% focus on that. Like, how much is it, do you think, coming from your, knowledge of ADHD, is it, no, this is prescription that kid absolutely needs, or is there another avenue where if you remove, ultra processed food, you can take away the 70% of like having like an ADHD, like a problem with like learning?
So, yeah, that's pretty complicated. But so ADHD in of itself, usually anyone who has ADHD has I like to say like a sprinkling of autism. You're usually like somewhere on the spectrum. And that's why there's an ADHD diagnosis comes out. I think a lot of people now are overdiagnosed with ADHD. And for sure, diet and screen time, I think, plays a significant role, especially with ultra processed foods and high sugar. It kind of like spools up the system. And the problem with ADHD is that they lack dopamine, right? So you're constantly pleasure seeking. And so that's why it's not so much that when you say, hey, you don't like this, so focus on this, and you like this, so you're really good at it. That is correct in terms of like when you are experiencing some versions of ADHD, but that doesn't take away the fact that the ADHD is still there. Like you still have a hard time either concentrating, you're there, but you're not there, right? That's like the fawn stage where you're kind of like just unaware of anything that's going on, or you're in a fight stage where you're completely hyperactive, right? And so when you focus on one thing that you really enjoy, you're actually getting that dopamine hit. So your brain is getting your brain's pleasure seeking because you're doing something that you enjoyed doing. And then that's how you hyper focus on that one thing. But it's no different than if you are someone who loves eating dark chocolate because there's caffeine in dark chocolate and that gives you that dopamine hit. that stimulant hit, or you really like drinking coffee or anything that's stimulant based. The only difference is that this is a manual stimulation of the brain that's giving you that same hit. So it doesn't necessarily mean that someone doesn't have ADHD if like the teaching style is different. It's just managing that individual with ADHD. But the sugar and the processed foods, I would say, would enhance or exacerbate the predisposition to show the signs and symptoms of ADHD. So if you can cut out sugar, or you can remove the amount of like ultra processed foods and get rid of all the food colorings, you can reduce the symptoms. You're not actually going to get rid of the core problem, but it drastically helps you manage any of those outward behaviors to the point where you don't need medication. And it's just like a behavioral learned type of management of your symptoms.
Does it also depend on like environment that you grow up in?
Yeah.
When it comes to ADHD?
Yeah. So if you're around people who have versions of high anxiety, or you're constantly under stressful situations, when you're a kid, you start to, your amygdala starts to kind of like, in a way, overdevelop or underdevelop, depending on how you're going to come up in that environment. And so your response to stress, your fight or flight mechanisms develop completely different. And again, it will increase your predisposition to developing the different variants of, or the degrees of ADHD that happen, because you're unable to mitigate stress. So when you go into a stressful situation, you cannot reason the stress out, or you don't have the ability to reduce kind of like how your body's going to react. So you just react as soon as you hit a stressful situation. And that could be thinking about going to school, right? Mm-hmm. And then your internal system winds up, the stress kicks in, and now you're in an ADHD response. And you're either hyperactive, so you're acting out, right? Or you're just not paying attention and you're just not there. So it's all about stress regulation and things like that.
And that's where like supplements would come in hand, like the GABA, to like kind of settle you down a little bit.
Yeah, there's a methyl detox and a genetic test I do for these patients, because the parents will come to me and be like, well, they're on this medication, they've had this diagnosis, like, what are we missing something? And then you can do a genetic check to see if they have any SNPs or variants with these genetic pathways that help activate certain things, clear certain stimulatory chemicals in the brain, and that can give you an insight that hasn't been looked at by the system.
Yeah.
And then so certain methyl B vitamins, zincs, magnesiums, GABAs, other things that maybe the child needs can go a long way in supporting minimum effective dose of the medication, or obviously in a perfect world getting them off it, if that ends up happening. And yeah, it's interesting too. I agree with the overdiagnosis. Like, I'm running into guys our age now with kids, and I know how we all were.
Yeah.
They're like, my kid's been diagnosed on a medication now. And I'm like, I grew up with both of you. I know you both really well.
Yeah.
You guys didn't have it. We had all probably characteristics of not wanting to sit still and focus and do our thing. And like, none of us got diagnosed with it or medicated. And now all their kids are. And I'm not here to judge, but that's an observation I've noticed, where that's where we're at. And they're like, well, but the kid's so much better with it. And I'm like, no shit. I'm not surprised to hear that either, right? They're like, well, the teacher can manage him better and we can manage him better. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. But then they also came to me and they're like, what else are we missing? And I'm like, let's do this genetic test. Let's like get some other physiologic things balanced. There's two big ones, the MTHFR. Gary Brecka talks at length about these, right? That's actually where I learned a lot about this advanced testing. And the MTHFR is very common. 2 out of 3 people have at least a red or a yellow with it. So they either inherited it from mom, dad, or both, as far as like a deficient pathway. And then if you support that pathway, they can activate certain nutrients better. The particular one, there's folic acid for the B9. And then the other one's COMT, where if you have a variant there, you can't get rid of stimulatory chemicals back to your dopamine thing and other stuff that can stimulate the brains too much. So if you can work on those pathways and get them running a bit smoother, clear the log jam, so to speak, then yeah, I'll look at that with people, because they're offered, it's either a Concerta or a Vyvanse or Ritalin or some equivalent, right? And that's it. Yeah.
Like, it takes away like emotion, it seems like, a lot of the time. And when I've talked to, people that are in school these days, it's almost like a brag. It's weird. It's like a weird bragging. Like, well, I deal with, anxiety. And then they talk about it like it's a brag. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because
Like,
that's
it's just
probably
so
because
strange now.
their parents do that too, right? They brag about having, or they use it as excuses, but then they also like, oh yeah, we're part of a club, like social anxiety club, and like all this weird shit, right? The problem is that if you get the kids on medications young, it's really hard to get them off when they get older, and you're going to constantly need to be playing with changing the types of medications, changing the pathways to
Because you
try and
eventually just get, your body becomes immune to
and
it.
and because people with ADHD, or maybe not necessarily ADHD, but have been prescribed medication, the one of like the known predispositions is you have a much stronger addictive personality. So your risk for seeking other things goes up quite a bit. And so if you start taking stimulant-based thing or supplements at a younger age, they start experimenting even with their medications. And the really messed up thing is, so ADHD meds are highly monitored. Like you cannot refill your prescription until you're like within a couple of days of being out of it. And if you lose a pill, they don't just give you an extra pill. It's like your month dose is your month dose, and that is it. Because they are like very strong stimulants, right? But what these kids do is sometimes like, I'm not going to take my meds for like 2 or 3 days. I'm going to stack them up. And then they're not in a capsule. They're not in a pill form. They're in a capsule form. You can actually crack the capsules open, and these kids will sniff their capsules to get like extreme high hits of these stimulants. It's basically like doing cocaine, right? And they'll like triple it up, and they just get, or they put them under under the tongue so it absorbs faster, and they just get fucked, right? and that's common in like high school. These kids do that.
Crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's some wild shit. And because I mean, I treat a lot of kids, and I'm like, have you ever done that? Like, oh yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, dude, it's a wild ride. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah, doing stuff we didn't do at that age.
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You did mushrooms? You're like, yeah, it was crazy.
I'm like, well, I snorted a capsule on my ADHD medication.
Do you think the detection for it has just gone up that much, or it's just there's so much money in prescription meds these days?
That's just the money.
Doctors get benefits from
I think it's also based on the environment that a lot of these like teachers and parents are in right now, right? So I can't say that it's all about the kids. It's like, nowadays, both parents are working, everyone's under high stress, probably not I don't think parents are given the ability to parent as much as they actually want. So there's a lot of other, say, unchecked substance imbalances in place that are causing more development of these issues, or these hyperactive, like, inattentive kids to kind of increase. And then now, because the parents don't have the time or the ability to manage the children the way they should, right? Or the way they could, if they had the time to do it, then the only answer is like, well, fuck, I know this person got this diagnosis, they gave him a pill, and now he's better, so like I'm just going to go do it. So I think there is that. I think a lot of the current ADHD, and I'm not saying for all because that's not fair, but I think a lot of it, to a point you're saying where people are being misdiagnosed, is that it's a convenience. It's like a convenience diagnosis where you can get a pill, and the pill absolutely works to some degree in improving the symptoms or the presentation that the child has.
Yep.
Right. And that's why ADHD is, in terms of the realms of like disorders, has probably the least amount of funding. And that's why there's not that much information, because any variant of those, like, I think there's like 5 or 6 different medications you can take, and there's variants within those medications. It's an automatic correct answer. Versus someone who's, say, autistic, there's no pill, no solution for that. And so the funding is massive and the research is huge, right? But because it's so easy to fix this one problem with a couple pills, there's not as much funding, right? There is,
makes sense.
there's not a lot of other answers. They'll just say, go see a counselor. The parents will learn how to manage their child. The kids will learn some behavioral therapy to manage their symptoms, and we'll give you a pill. That is literally, if you go on any Fraser Health, any BC Authority, even like Canada wide, on any one site, those are your 3 answers. That is it. There's nothing else available.
So they don't
even
talk
in
about
theory.
Diet, exercise,
Nothing.
lifestyle,
Zero.
sleep.
No.
That's crazy.
Not even manual therapies. They won't say go see a naturopath, go seek out alternative medicine, nothing. It's literally go get counseling, take a pill, and
Deal with it.
deal with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And that's why the diagnosis is getting so much more prevalent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of parents doing it like our age now too, right? They'll just go to these clinics and huge bucks they'll pay to go to an ADHD clinic, and you pay, you can get the diagnosis in the Vyvanse if you want it. It's not hard. The amount of people and patients that tell me this, I'm like, that's it? They're like, yeah, I just went to this clinic, filled out the questionnaire, spoke to the doctor, said it was good to go, and then prescription.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because there's only, like you said, not every doctor's doing it. Not everyone has training in these meds. Like, it's super regulated, but the ones that do are making money hand over fist with it and just shelling it out. And I'm like, did you just want the med, or did you actually need it? It's
They
hard
just
to
want to
say.
take life is hard and they want to take the edge off.
Yeah.
They just want a quick out. Because how long does the medication last? Is it like every
1 day.
12 hours? Just so
I take it every day, yeah.
every day.
I asked a couple teachers, I'm like, you've been teaching 50 years. You've seen the evolution of the classroom and the kid. And, they started work many years ago and they could rule with an iron fist, right? They could yardstick and belt and like control these kids. And now they're like, teachers are afraid of the kids. Parents are afraid of the kids.
Yeah.
And
I've
there's
heard
nothing
that
you
too.
can do about it.
Yeah.
And this is an option to tone the kid down. So now it's like teachers like, okay, kid's more manageable. Parents are like, yeah, kid's way more manageable. And so it's like catering to their ability to handle and control the kid. Whereas back in the day, like,
Shit wouldn't fly.
no, man.
I didn't even
On our
hear of
parents'
ADHD
era?
in high school.
Dude, they were like, if you stepped out of line, it was like you were corrected. And
That's how it should be.
so there's some, I think, element of that now where it's like the parents and the kids are a little bit fearful. And so it's like, okay, we'll just dumb this.
Is it just the
energy
pendulum?
down.
Just like in politics, eventually, the parents are going to be back in control. Like, I don't know.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
I mean, like I have ADHD, right? And I have slight autistic traits as well.
I think you're over prescribing yourself.
Maybe. But like for the most part, it's just everything has to be, you just have to have a like systems and processes in place and you can manage it very well. I do have times where I haven't properly done like my regimen or my protocol, and fuck me, like nothing, there's zero accomplishment, like nothing, right? If a plan changes and I haven't prepared for that change to occur, I mean, I have absolutely, there's zero, I'm completely useless. Like I cannot function. I do have Vyvanse, and I've taken like the minimal dose, and it is like Limitless, like the movie Limitless. Like everything fucking unlocks, and I'm like lasered in, and I can focus completely on anything.
What are the side effects rather than becoming more like having that addicted personality, finding maybe a different high? Like, what are the other problems, risk, side effects with taking this medication?
Well,
Like high blood pressure, is it bad for the heart? Like,
Is it an appetite and weight loss?
appetite and weight loss.
Yeah.
So I mean, is it actually a side effect? Like people would be all over it, right? I know a lot of kids who dropped a ton of weight as soon as they started taking these medications because they're not hungry. They start dropping weight like
because
crazy.
they're focusing on something else rather than the most basic things.
It's not even focus. It just literally kills your appetite. Like it's like a variant of like one of these GLPs.
Yeah.
Right.
It just drops it. Yeah, it's not as hungry.
Yeah. It just completely kills that feeling.
So in a growing kid, it's a question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Is it
Going through puberty, all that type of stuff.
You need some K-Cal, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So minimum effective dose again. Do you cycle it ever? I read about these a lot. I'm like, well, do like a 5 on 2 off. Like you don't need to be in the boardroom focused on Saturday or Sunday morning, so don't do it.
You know what? The only time I actually take it is probably, I can't even say like more often than once every couple months. I'll only do it on a weekend when I have to like get a paper completed or I have to do a whole bunch of research, and I will take it so I am like lasered in.
Sounds like a good call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but outside of that, I won't touch it. I don't need to. I have enough stuff going on that I can
What about like
focus.
nootropics? Are they just not strong enough to do that? Like just brain health?
Modafinil has been looked at a lot against these because it's less habit forming and less addictive. You could cycle it, come on, off. I've used that actually with a bunch of patients over the years.
Like
They quite
lion's
like it.
mane, looking at different mushrooms, stuff like that.
Yeah. Dave Asprey writes at length about all these.
Yeah.
Because he prefers them over the others. So
Yeah. And typically the ones that have to, like, I've seen some kids, they say 16 years old, who have they say debilitating ADHD, who are on, say, like 60 milligram dose of Vyvanse, which is ridiculous. Like 60 milligrams fuck. I couldn't even imagine. Right. And they still can't function. And the problem is because the ADHD is not the problem. They also suffer from like major depression and severe anxiety. And, you know, I suspect there's other like mental kind of health concerns at play. So just focusing on the one, and then they start throwing them on antidepressants or anti-anxiety medications. And you have a 16-year-old with like on 3 or 4 meds. That's just crippling.
yeah, that's
crazy.
And they still can't, like, they're not going to graduate because they can't function. It's like, okay, well, unfortunately, you know, you can't really tell someone to dial back everything and be like, hey, you know what, you're going to cold turkey this for a bit and clean your system out and let's see what happens. But, you know, there has to be another solution. It's like taking some natural stuff and trying to like roll back the dose maybe from like 60 to 40 and be like, hey, are we good here? Okay, can we dial it back a bit more? Can we throw in some exercise so you're not on antidepressants? Like what can we do?
Like,
But
I guess,
it's
can you
happening.
have ADHD as a child and eventually just outgrow it as an adult to figure out like natural ways to deal with the ADHD and stuff? So like get off the pills.
Well, you don't like outgrow it in terms of you don't not have it, but you can have learned behaviors and mechanisms in place that will control it.
and now you're med free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So call it cured, but even if it's still there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like a big conversation these days. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hear more and more of it.
I see a lot of it.
Yeah, it's just constant. It's just like, holy Christ, your friend's on that already? It's like she's fucking 11.
Yeah.
Like, really?
And then the latent lifers that 30, 40 start on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll just look like, you know, like what's your mom's like? What's your dad's like? What's your, like, I start trying to break it down and I'm like, oh yeah, like you said, they both work, stressed out. It's easier just to go here, take this,
Yeah.
For sure.
which I get. But at the same time, it's like you're a parent, you signed up for this. It's a fucking hard job. I don't know. I'm just a no excuse type of guy.
We'll just get you counseling all these kids then.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I got to make it through my 3 alone. Okay. I got a question. Do you guys see a rise in anything that was never concerned with about 5 or 10 years ago?
Like stuff popping up now
Yeah.
that was not a thing before.
I guess we did talk. ADHD is probably in there.
Yeah.
Sleep's big.
Yeah, ADHD is a big one.
Yeah.
Any other stuff that's blindsiding us right now?
Like, do you find more people coming into the practice these days with like more low back pain? You know, same on your field. Like more people wanting to discuss natural medication versus prescription.
Definitely.
Like,
I
it's
think people are getting
increased.
very sick and frustrated with the system and just kind of fed up.
Anything post 2020, I feel like has opened the can to many different things around.
Yeah, they people are really obviously seeing they're not getting the support they need, the monitoring, the treatment, the wait times.
Yeah.
Everything is just, it's finally come to a crunch point for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do see a lot of people, major uptick in when I talk to people, like I don't see a doctor. I go to a naturopath instead.
Yeah.
A lot
Like,
of
I try
people are
not
kind of
to.
changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do see significant increased prevalence of chronic headaches and migraines. I think that's more work posture related across all ages and genders. It's not isolated to only one. It's everyone.
Yeah.
A lot of neck, back posture related problems.
Staring at phones, looking down.
Yep. Yep. For a short amount of time, there was a serious increase in trigger finger on kids because of all the texting they used to do, trigger thumb. So their thumb would be locked in like literally like this position. I think that's eased off a little bit now. But
Talk and text.
yeah, right. Siri.
Yep. Even though it sucks sometimes, I'll say stuff in my van and I'm like, I did not say that.
Close enough.
It's close enough, and I'll send it, and it makes no sense, but hopefully you guys understand it.
Let's do a voice note then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can, in our group chat with our two buddies, all they do is send voice chats. But if I'm driving, I have to pick up my phone to hit play.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Apple Play needs to figure this out, like play audio.
Yeah.
Because I try not to touch the phone when I'm driving, but you know how it is.
You know what I just learned with that too? A patient lost their license. You get 2 distracted drivings in a 12-month period, it's gone.
Really?
how
They
long?
pull your license for 3 to 12 months. It goes to a review board, and then you get a letter in the mail that says you've been caught twice on the phone in the last 12 months, and then you have to give your license up for this amount of time.
Really?
2 in
Wow.
a 12-month, which is really easy to do for a lot of people. So if you get like
yeah.
one, you be very careful for the next
Yeah.
year. Otherwise, if you get another, you're toast.
I never knew that. I've never even heard of that.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I thought
That's
it was
what I
like-
said too. I said, what? My wife was telling me because we have a mutual patient, and she's like, yeah, she lost her license. And so I Googled it right on the spot. It goes right to the ICBC website. 2 infractions in a 12-month period goes to a review board, and then you'll get a letter in the mail, and your fate will be 3 to 12 months, no license.
Holy shit.
So they've really, really cracked down on
Yeah,
it.
because I thought, even though I see more people texting and driving than I did a couple of years ago, I swear people just care less across the board about everything right now. I feel like, and texting and driving is probably one of them. Yeah. Holy
Yeah.
moly.
But, you know, we're talking about health on this podcast, and I'm driving in here, and I'm like, you know what's a good health thing is wear your seatbelt and don't text and drive. Like, sounds too
normal
simple.
stuff?
Needs to be reminded to people, though, right? Like,
Yeah.
imagine what could happen and how your life could change on that alone. And then you'd think, well, I was just sending a text or doing something stupid. And I need to remind myself of this sometimes, too, where it's like, it's not worth it.
yeah.
Do
It's
you
like,
wanna
wait till you
have-
get home. You got 10 minutes.
Yeah, do you want to have a life-altering injury or worse? You want to talk about trying to stay healthy? It's like, yeah, you jack something up, then it's a long road ahead if you can ever get back to baseline after that, right? So, yeah,
Yeah.
simple things go a long way, right? Like,
I feel like sometimes I'll pull up to a red light and I'll be like, where did the last 30 seconds go?
yeah,
Like,
just
even
on
if I'm
autopilot.
not, like, even if I'm not on my phone, I'll be, say, thinking about this podcast. Oh, I wonder what I could talk about this. And all of a sudden, I'm like, you kind of come to, you're like, oh, I put my foot on the brake and stopped at this red light. You're like, how did I get here?
it's very strange
You're
how
like,
automatic
it's a
it
weird
gets.
feeling. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah,
know,
it's like I
'cause
didn't
that-
think on the entire commute, but it just kind of like automatically happens.
Yeah, like I was taking the family out for dinner the other night, and we went down 184th to 8th.
Yeah.
And then we were heading over to the WAG right on 8th Avenue there.
Beauty.
Yeah, I love the spot.
Yeah.
And I look left, I look right, nobody's coming, but the car coming towards me heading east, the car behind it passed it as I was turning out.
Mm.
And it probably was this close, and he was probably going like 100. And it was one of those scenarios where like he had no time to react. Like
Yeah.
it would have been instant. And I was like, holy shit. And me and Katie both look at each other and we're like, that would have been a wrap probably for you, because I was turning this way. And
Yeah, man.
hopefully the kids would, but it was like, don't stew on it. We're here. Keep driving.
Sure.
I was like,
And you,
ooh,
you
like,
did everything you can to pay attention.
yeah,
right?
and it
then
was,
that's
but it like rattled me, like
Yep.
where I was like, oh, that would have been it. That was
Yeah.
the last
in the blink
second.
of an eye, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's scary.
it is. It is a lot of bad drivers out there, a lot of traffic, a lot of, doing things to cut your commute is probably a good health promoting thing as
Yeah.
well, right? You just lower your chances of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's where the SkyTrain will probably help in the city
Yeah.
a little bit, but I don't think it'd be good for the businesses around there. I don't know. We'll see. We
Yeah.
got another 2 years before it's done.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2030.
Oh, really? That long?
Yeah,
Wow.
Shit.
that's what I heard.
So Fraser's just going to be a nightmare till then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
I guess we can do kind of a final wrap up here. Is there anything we missed today? Kind of on the horizon when it comes to, big impact to the health industry, next up and coming. Obviously, I think peptides we've already discussed, but I feel like that's probably the biggest right now. It's across every single podcast platform that I listen to, that's for sure.
No, that's good stuff. I think some parting words with that is people come to me and they're like, I want to try these 5 peptides. And I'm like, maybe start with 1.
Yeah.
Maybe ease in, maybe go, you don't have to swing for the fences with all this. Like, because they heard from several different friends and they're all taking different ones. And I'm like, don't got to go crazy here. Start easy, keep it specific to your concerns. Whatever's happening with your blood work or signs and symptoms and just kind of start there.
Would you say get blood work before you do peptides to be
There's
safe?
very few markers. If you got healthy, kidney, liver, maybe if you're tinkering with GH, maybe you want to check an IGF-1 to actually check your GH levels. But people are like, I want to start BPC and TB. Is there any overarching blood work we need to monitor or keep an eye on? And I'm like, not really if you've had your basic chemistry panel and stuff done recently and everything was fine. I'm like, no, not really. But I had a patient taking some SARMs, which is a different category altogether because we were talking about peptides. So if you move over to SARMs, it's like it was like bombarding his liver and his liver enzymes went to the moon. And it's like that'll go with any, anabolic, steroid, injectable, or like a selective androgen receptor modulator. Yeah, those can jam up the liver. So there's, probably always good to check that. But peptides, not really. Like I said, the GH analogs, maybe you keep an eye on IGF-1 and Greek growth hormone, and that's about it. But a lot of people that start tinkering with Retta and stuff, they're like, I just want to check my insulin, my blood sugar, my A1Cs, my cholesterol, see how all that's trending, because it usually just trends in the right direction on those.
Yeah.
And people have reversed some incredible stuff with it and peeled off weight. And I'm like, and they've been on maybe insulin or metformin for years. And I'm like, yeah, fuck, those, we're not putting a dent in it the way this is. I have to at least call it like I see it.
Yeah.
And it is something to see. So, the big thing with that Retta, though, is I've had a few patients overdose it. I know you're saying there's no lethal dose. They're all terribly safe in that sense. But one guy did have uncontrollable diarrhea because he was taking 3 milligrams twice a week. And I was like, what are you doing? I'm like, that's a massive dose for a guy your size. And, like soiling the sheets. And I'm like, what does your wife think of that? And he's like, well, she's doing a lot of laundry right now. And I'm like, maybe you want to stop doing that. Maybe you don't need 3 milligrams twice a week. Start really low and go slow.
Yeah.
And I think that goes with any of these, just find your tolerance. Cause like you said, you start asking in the locker room who's dosing what. And it's like, that doesn't mean it's your dose, man. It's all over the place. So start really low and just rev it up over time. Because if you're having terrible diarrhea and nausea and upset stomach and 2 bites and you put the fork down, maybe you're overshooting it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just listen to your body more than anything.
Yeah, that's what I'd say.
I've heard some, I've read some articles and I've heard some stuff about how the peptides, it's not actually size dependent. So it's
you got to go slow and figure it out,
yeah,
right?
The dosing is not actually, because you weigh 150 pounds, you should be taking a milligram of Retta versus if you're 200 pounds, you should be taking 1 milligram. I don't think it's, from what I understand, it's not actually size dependent, right? Is it tolerance dependent?
I would say it's response dependent in this case too, right? And side effect dependent, because you'll see someone will be this dose and the terrible nausea, and then the next person, no side effects, weight loss is great. So that's why I pretty much start everybody on the lowest dose, or sometimes even lower than that, and then move them up slowly. If I'm doing a Misurno, which is I guess just before retatrutide, start with the lowest or the second lowest, and then move up slowly.
So do you have some people who are, say, for example, quite small, or small in comparison to others who just have to take much more aggressive dosing than people who are, say, double their size?
Haven't really seen it, because I have a few people on 120 pounds, maybe they're 130 pounds, and it's not like they're on the 15 milligrams of the tirzepatide top end dose. They're on either the 1.25, the 2.5, or the 5, and that's usually plenty. And then I have a few patients that have more to go, more weight loss, and so they're maybe on the 7.5 or the 10. I would say it's not necessarily body size dependent that I've seen, but more so how much weight do you have to lose? Because if they don't have a lot to lose, probably just need a tiny dose, because then a little bit of loss over time will get them there, versus you're 50 or 100 pounds overweight, you could probably handle a bit faster weight loss. But still, I say a pound or two a week. Like, you're not trying to peel it off like tomorrow, because the toxin dump and the load on the heart and liver is crazy with that. So I tell people, I'm like, you'll feel like garbage if you go too quick. And so the other side effect would be low energy and just lethargy, right? Which kind of makes sense. Less calories, more toxins to filter. Yeah.
Interesting. Does it do anything in your testosterone levels because you're not eating as much?
I mean, sure. But it's like, training, sleep. Yeah. Is that
That's
system
what I
getting enough,
experienced.
right? Yeah.
Test crashed. Or no, I don't know if it did, but
There's
Libido
another one. There's another one that a patient of mine brought to my attention, the Kispeptin, and he was getting some crazy results with the testosterone with that. And I was like, my God. Yeah.
What's it called?
Kispeptin.
Kispeptin.
Yeah, Kispeptin.
Interesting.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
I've only seen that 12 CGC.
GnRH, LH down to the testicles. And it's kind of like HCG, which we have access to. But then he was telling me about Kispeptin. I started reading about it. And I was like, huh. I took his test from 9 to 20 in an 8 or 12 week cycle, and then off it held. And I was like, huh. So it was like a sufficient reboot to the axis as well, which I help a lot of guys with, because they'll juice and crank and trash their system, and then we'll reboot it with like Clomid and HCG. But then he now put this Kispeptin on my radar, and I'm like, okay, this will be good too from a fertility and a reboot standpoint.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's endless with peptides, because isn't it just like all branched amino acids stacked differently, having different responsibilities in the body? Like, it seems so basic.
It is, because we've been making them in our body forever, and so now they're finding a way to string them together, which is very, I think I said, very exciting if done properly for your chief concern, and then monitor as needed. But further to your question, I don't think there's a ton of one-to-one markers that you need to monitor for every one of them, but just general blood work and keeping an eye on things.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see the next 3 to 5 years when it comes to kind of like
should be good
the industry.
I mean, Health Canada and FDA want something to say about it, though, right? Because it's like, how are we going to get a cut of this? I think is the ultimate question. Because you see the people making money hand over fist with it. It's quite something.
Yeah, I'd like to know the numbers of people buying peptides right now.
I'm
Online,
sure
it's got to be crazy.
Unbelievable.
But then you also have to wonder, how many people are actually getting, the correct, they're getting the peptide that they're getting, and to the point where I was saying, I was like, some people will sell retatrutide for $50 a bottle. I'm like, that's not feasible.
Can't be,
right? It cannot be real by any stretch of the definition, right? So, there's just a lot of uncertainty with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, we're early phases still. Because I thought trials take more than a couple of years at least to get these things out.
For sure. As well as retatrutide has been in trials forever.
Yeah.
At least 2 years that I'm aware of, and it's going to go another year or two. It's like multiple years of this.
Because because when they're testing, they can't be like, we're testing BPC 157 for this, and this. It has to be, we're testing it for this. And then if you get it cleared, then it will be used for prescription of this. If there's other positive side effects, that would be a side effect.
Yeah.
It wouldn't you cannot use it as a prescription for
It becomes off label,
other things.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like,
Gotcha.
right. So it gets very, so when they're going to bring something to trial, they have to be like, we know for a fact, this is going to be we're going to hit the nail on the head there. And then anything else that kind of comes through, because it's very expensive to run these R&D trials,
hundreds
right?
of millions, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's why the Retta and these other things are going to become so increasingly expensive.
Just because the trials for these.
Yeah, because you have to
recoup some of that.
They have to recoup some of that money,
Yeah.
right? But the question is that once all this stuff starts getting regulated, who's going to be allowed to prescribe and who's not, right? Totally. So there's going to be a battle between who can prescribe, who can't prescribe.
So hopefully that brings down the price then if the people are battling over it.
No, it'd be more like, because there's going to be certain levels of kickbacks once it becomes like an actual prescription. There's going to be, can you compound it? There's going to be different compound facilities. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that comes into play.
And Canada's way different than the U.S. It's more like the
Very
Wild
much.
West down there. I've always heard with supplements versus Canada being way more stricter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Time will tell. And hopefully it's in scope for me. You just never know. The other ones are. I can't see why not, but yeah.
So hopefully there's a bunch of trials going on for all the different peptides then.
Yeah.
Not just a few. Because it seems like to be so many.
Yeah. Probably lots going on right now that I'm not even aware of. My buddy told me something cool the other day. They're researching in Japan a drug that allows you to grow a third set of teeth, which is crazy. So I started reading about it. He's like, look it up. And I was like, oh my God.
Third set of
so
your
teeth.
adult teeth would fall out? And then
So apparently this process always happens, and we have suppressive signals to prevent that from happening. But animals in the wild, like sharks and other people that like bite stuff and lose their teeth, just naturally grow another one. And we have that ability, but there is a process within us, some protein that gets released to stop it. And then the drug will stop that protein from suppressing the third set, and you grow in a tooth or teeth.
Wow.
Which is crazy. So some Japanese study going on right now for it.
That would be epic.
So imagine at 40 or 45, you just take this drug, grow a third set of teeth, good for the rest of your life. And the dental industry goes completely upside down because 90% of what they do is maintain this second set.
Yeah.
So all the root canals would be gone, the implants would be gone, the extractions would be gone, and you'd have a third set of fresh adult teeth.
What a trip.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
I couldn't imagine how painful going through that process would be again, though.
As an adult, you're like, oh, yeah, this sucks.
Yeah.
Now your kids are whining about their teeth. They're like, I get it. I get it, son.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was, I like to talk to my buddy every once in a while, and because he keeps an eye on all this. And he's like, we're in for a treat in a sense, because he's like, there's going to be some medical advances in our lifetime that could probably keep us going a lot longer than our parents have.
That's one of the things I kind of had written down in notes was like how AI is really going to change the medical industry.
Yeah, he's like, you look at that, okay, get another set of teeth. He's like, maybe in our lifetime, like
Limbs.
the odds of needing a joint replacement go to zero because we just find a way to reverse arthritis and preserve joints for people. And he's like, that horizon's upon us. And so it's an interesting time to be alive with all this. So that's why I tell people, just get as healthy as possible and hold on as long as you can, because things are getting better as far as what you're going to have access to. Well, it is going to become a bit of like a survival of the richest in a sense, which is a bit unfortunate.
But hopefully with the advancements, certain things get cheaper.
Yeah.
Like maybe stem cell will get cheaper, although Japan now does stem cell, but it's really expensive. Stem cell in Japan, I think, is like $90,000 for a treatment.
Can't you just go to Mexico?
Yeah, you go to Mexico and it's like
Yeah.
umbilical placental stem cell. In Mexico is like 15, 20 grand.
Yeah.
Panama is 50.
Oh, I thought Panama. Oh, okay.
No, Panama is like 50,000 now to do it. And in the States, it's upwards of like 40, 50,000, and that's your own stem cells. That's your own.
So they got to take them out of you first.
Yeah. They take them out of you, and then they re-inject them.
Yeah, because it all depends if they're live cells. They have to be live cells.
They have to be live cells. Yeah. And the best is to get, embryologic stem cells.
Well, I'm sure we're going to be living to 100. Do you think people will be living to 150 in our lifetime?
Maybe more like 120, 130. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
Do you want to? Is the question.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Quality
be
of life.
I'd rather have good quality of life until I'm like in my mid 90s, and then just like have my heart stop there, and then that's it, and fucking live the good life.
I think the goal is 100 for sure. That should be a good goal for most people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all depends on quality of life. If
Cool,
you haven't
for sure,
experienced
man.
an accident along the way and you're like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, living well, just
Yeah, if you're a
it.
vegetable or like terrible Alzheimer's to 100, that's obviously not ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cost on that's huge too. I'm talking to patients trying to put their parents into this. 10, 12K a month at these facilities. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like, and now there's a wait list and there's a shortage. And then should you get in there, it's like huge bucks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people got to think about this. Like you got to think you need way more money than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
There's the one. Have you heard of the one in Langley off 36 called the Village?
It's from my old school.
Yeah, it's where
was.
Bradshaw.
Yeah.
That's our old school.
We used to run on that field as
Oh,
kids,
yeah.
and now it's an Alzheimer's community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like
it's like 5 acres, and they converted it into a town.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like you can like exit it, and you can.
Self-contained little
Self-contained,
village
like
for them to
little
hang in.
Yeah, like Eden went and visited it with the school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Katie's like, it's a trip.
Is it nice in
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, they're
I
like,
bet
it's
it's
so
pretty
nice.
sweet.
They're like,
Yeah.
she's like, it's like you're walking through like a mini Whistler Village.
Yeah. It's like 20 grand a month
Wow.
to be in that facility.
Well, it's a nice area. It's super
Yeah.
quiet in
That's
there.
a good spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because my backyard, my dad's old house, literally was defense Bradshaw. So you probably stand in the backyard, see it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge field.
Massive.
That was great.
Old strawberry field, man.
Yeah.
And it was a school for forever, and then that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I walked through it before they leveled it.
Yeah.
And I was like rubbing my hands on the ceiling. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty small in here. But it feels so big when you're a kid.
No doubt.
Okay, well, I think that's everything. I'm sure we'll do this again.
Yeah.
Try and get Ryan in here next time. Just didn't work out. But awesome. Appreciate you guys.
Good stuff, man.
coming
Yeah,
in.
thanks.
Yeah, thought that was a good chat. I'm excited to kind of see what the next couple of years holds out. We'll do this again maybe in another year or something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of see how much more research comes out about peptides.
Sounds good. Might as well keep talking about it because that's all people want. So.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I almost get sick of it. I'm like, oh, we're gonna talk about
Nah,
peptides. That's all I fucking listen
It's
to.
appropriate. We got to ride the wave. As
Yeah,
guys
true.
into health, we got to ride the wave of this
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. See where it goes. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks again.
Cheers.
Glad you guys finally met too.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys could talk forever.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks, man.